problems. All right, so what this is called is the Andy Warhol Four Faces Photoshop project, and it's actually a very quick little project. It ends up taking you maybe just a few minutes, but these are what it shows you how to do. These are the learning targets. It shows you how to do something called cropping, canvas resizing, square marquee selecting, copying and pasting, which you already know, layers and filters. A few of these you already kind of know from your previous project. Who is Andy Warhol? If you go in here, I actually didn't even know who it was, but if you go in here, he does these kind of what's called pop art type of things, where it just is the same image over and over. He does other ones, but he's most popular for these. Same image, but he's changed them. Now, some of these are painted, some of these are done on Photoshop, but that's kind of the ultimate effect we're going for. So here's how you do it on Photoshop. First thing you need to do is open up your face. Okay, and the high definition version of it works the best. All right, so that first skill is called cropping. I want you to just get the head of your face. So don't get all the extra space. Make it this is called a square marquee select. And you go to image, crop. And what that does is gets rid of everything except for what you just highlighted. All right, next what you want to do is go to edit copy. And you'll see why this comes into play here in a second. Basically, I'm copying what I already have selected with the square marquee tool. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to image, canvas size. It's different than image size. If I do image size, it actually makes this picture bigger. I want to make the canvas or my available space bigger. And I want to increase it by 200%. So what I'm going to do is up here, instead of inches, I'm going to change it to percent and make it 200% for both the height and the width. And then my final step is right here, where I want it to be pushed is kind of all off to the right. And you'll see why that is in a minute. So I click OK. And now what I have is 3 times as much space for this one picture. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to Edit Paste. And remember, because I already did Edit Copy, use my arrow tool and pick these up so that they fill all 4 corners of this screen continually. All right, so here we've got all 4 copied. Then what you want to do is manipulate each layer with what's called a filter. And there's a bunch of filters up here, and this is what makes this program a $600 program, is it has probably 100 different filters within here. And I'm going to do layer 1, which is the picture over here to the top right. And take a look at this one. This one's called Swirl. It looks a little bit, and I can adjust it slightly. And you can sort of see what it does there. Now that one kind of messes it a little bit because it leaves some white space, but I'm going to go ahead and for this, leave it there. You can also do more subtle filters. Some of these are called the artistic or the blurs. Here's a neon glow that looks very Andy Warhol-ish. You can do a dry brush where if you increase the settings here, it's a lot more dramatic, especially if you increase the texture. Click OK on that one. That one's a little more subtle. Actually, you can only see it on my screen. You can't even see it on the overhead. If you go into filter and start doing some pixelation here, I'm going to do maybe a mosaic. Let's see. I got to zoom out here so you can see it a little bit. And do something like that, where basically kind of makes it more pixelated. That one's kind of a cool look. Or there's ones where you really can get in here and make it look like Andy Warhol's, and those are under, where are they at here? Artistic, neon. If you click on these, what's nice is it gives you all these options right here. Cut out. That one looks kind of cool looking. All right, so you can see how that looks. Now, that one right there, I may refix layer 1. I don't like the way that one looks. So if you do any sort of editing to that, you can always go in and undo that layer or that filter and pick just kind of a different type of layer or filter to that layer. And that's essentially all there is to it. Now, what I don't want you to do is go in and just quickly pick 4 and figure you're done. I want you to go through and see what all these different filters do, look like. I'm just doing a real quick example here, but I want you to really see, because these are what people make the money off of this. People that can go in here and they're like, oh, I know how to recreate that, and they just bing, 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 go through the filters and they can create it. Even though there's hundreds of them in there, they know how to kind of find that thing.